Hello everybody and welcome to part 45 of my guide King Boudicca series. The most prominent feature on the map right now is that the Shoshone aim to wipe out the Mayans, which is going to be good for us. And just as a side note, as we shift into plains, I found out that this little pocket here is 12 hexes away from Palanque. So when it comes time to get a carrier out here and get some plains over here, it's actually not going to be that hard. This bay, we can just have a carrier move back and forth here, like pick up some planes here, go over here, rebase them. Anyways, let's see if it actually works. Oh yeah, we got archaeology things to deal with. So let's see, create Celtic artifact, yes. So let's see where that went. Let's see, medieval, so we could combine them for partial credit, right? Renaissance, classical, so these would be the same era. Alright. Okay, looks like we have more. Let's just create a German artifact. Let's see what era that was, see if we can improve our theming bonus. That's ancient. What we have here, classic, Renaissance, medieval, so that's not... but we have more, okay. This is classical. So let's see where that leaves us. We got ancient, classical, Renaissance, classical, Quebec City. So we'll go classical to classical. Alright, so we have maximized our theming, I believe. Celts medieval, Carthage medieval, ancient, Renaissance. I do believe so. So we'll go ahead and reshift our eyes over here, making note of the faith prompt, and his rifleman got hit pretty hard, so that's unfortunate. Oh, and he went for it anyways. Okay, so this is probably really good news for us. You see all our units got ejected, we're no longer at war. But most importantly, let's take a look at this. This looks a lot prettier now. This is now the biggest gap. Which is weird, the graphical style, now that the Mayans are gone, this looks like a bigger gap than it is, but we might go to war with them just to reduce their culture. And since their culture spread out most likely rather than the way the Mayans had theirs stacked up, we'll just start knocking down cities or something. Anyways, Castle Town grows to 2 pop. This is a city we might build a granary in. He's working on that tile. Oh, we got a watermill running. Okay, so never mind. That might have been a mistake. The granary might have been better. It's not like we're going to be hammer-starved here, I don't think. There's a good amount of grassland, so maybe. That doesn't matter. Oh, did this city grow as well? It did, and it's up to 3 pop. So, did we already do a pagoda down here? We did not. This is where... So, we actually have a choice of where to put our pagoda. And I think the border tile availability is better over here. No, not necessarily. We already got plains here. This is plains, but that'll be Castle Town's job. So let's just go in order so that we don't louse it up. Go to there. Okay, so we're getting ahead of ourselves here. St. Nazaire has grown to 3 pop. That's a strong hammer tile, backed by 2 very strong growth tiles. So we're going to need some breaking power here, which means this hill will probably make a mine. You know, there's a hill here we could use in St. And then this city's got plenty of hills to grow into. But this one, not so much. This hill is one we could take. We could replace this. But that's later. He's going to start chopping there, and he's going to get on that. Alright, we dealt with that. Nuke has grown. We did not deal with that. Okay, we'll go ahead and go there. Boudicca grows, so we will raise that. Alright, we pick up a sheep tile here, which could be used by either city. And Belfast has grown this turn. So let's just take a look at this. 6 pop, 6 food. Okay, so this city has a lot more food. Oh, and it just finished a market. So we would want to be working the gold, and doing that we give up a little bit of hammer. So maybe we send this over to Cernifron. The city is just growing. We can just work here, and we'll give that tile to Cernifron so that we get our hammer back. Let's see. Growth in 8. Growth in 3. So at some point we might actually work the iron and then grow into this tile. Pass it back and forth like we did with Aberystwyth and Cork. Alright, so Belfast has grown. I believe we've addressed that. Penzance has grown. So let's see what we got here. 2 turns until factory, so let's just continue working the hard production tile. Aberystwyth. We do have a bank slot available. Let's see if that changes happiness at all. It doesn't, so let's go ahead and work the hard production tile. Cork already has this production tile to grow into, so we'll take this tile for Aberystwyth. Alrighty, and copper from Harold. Still wants it, so we'll go ahead and do that. Alright. Geneva seeks a great writer. Edinburgh is our Writers Guild. 17 turns. We've been holding elections there pretty consistently, so we're going to lose them in 13 turns. We'll flip it in more than 8, and then we'll have a writer. So that's pretty nice that this will ride for a little while. Pakal, who no longer exists, has made peace with the city-state. That's pretty magical. Let's see, we've got a trading post there, so there's a worker that's freed up, right, because we don't have any more places. Well, I suppose we could go on the lumber mills. This one belongs to Ren. Speaking of lumber mills, here's one for Douglas, so let's move from there to there, and there we go. This city can stop growing, which is great, because it has a target pop of 14 with hotel, which, you know, we're kind of avoiding hotels right now. We'll see if our happiness holds. There's another tile that New K can use later. And one more trading post, and then we're... Hey! And I think that's it for Carthage as well. Okay, so we gave them lots of gold options. Oh, and this worker was heading over somewhere. Worker distribution. When we go to war, it'll be easier to have things for workers to do. Because this war is kind of going to be 3 front with, you know, a pocket here that we should fill. Once we get started, like, we can cross through here pretty easily, at least with our lancers. So... Yep, and we had already dealt with Boudicca, so it is time to get all these. Shrine is done in Saint Nazaire. The city is growing very well, so we can go straight into library. Great War Bomber, so that means Great War Bomber, Great War Bomber, Great War Bomber. Workshop is done here. That's good, because this is a city that was growing out of control. And for that reason, I want to go straight into university. Let's just give this thing all of the specialist slots we can. Aqueduct is done in Brest, so on to workshop, I believe. Oh no, we have workshop. Okay, so similar vein, let's just go straight into university here, get as many specialist slots as we can. We had bought the hydro plant here, so we're gonna, you know, work here and then work here, but we're gonna want to start, you know, slotting in. So we'll work this tile, not so much this one or this one. This will be our growth into tile, and then we'll just throw them into specialist slots so that we can slow down the growth in that city, because we just needed to man the river. Keep in mind, remember that Brest is one that does not have Moscow pagodas, so its target pop is, you know, significantly lower than in other cities. Market is finished here, so we'll get on to Colosseum. Market is finished here, so we'll get on to Colosseum. Let's see. This city has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 good growth tiles backed by a production tile. Target pop of 10 or 12 with hotel. So maybe the next one we grow into we'll put into market, and maybe the next one after that maybe even work with iron, I don't know. But we do want to get on Coliseum. Alright, so let's go over here and take a look at where things ended up. Now that Tikal belongs to Shoshone, we're going to want to rearrange our units through here. I'll tell you what, we're going to want, let me move him down here. We'll have these two swap places. Whoops. Alright, fortify. And we can have him come over here to be here. And that should be good enough. We'll put this guy back here. Well, here's a road. So maybe not. Tell you what, let's have this worker, this is forest, right? Yeah, let's have this worker chop this down. And that way things moving from over here can hop on what is the road tile. We have hill here, hill here. We have a lot of fluidity except for this forest tile, which only works for us if we're traveling through these directions. Similarly, I think I'll have him take... Well, let's just take all this forest down, right? It's not doing anything for the city. And that way we can freely move forward. Moving forward. And then him being here, I'm cool with that. So... he's going to just end here because we're going to have a melee here. So I think I will have him go... No, he's on the road here. He's fine right there. In fact, we'll just leave him there. He'll cross over and then come here. And that should be good because the artillery's in range of Tikal. Tikal will fall a lot easier than Nampa. 246, 246. I'm just looking at plane availability. Because that'll be the nice thing. We'll have greater plane options once Tikal, and then we can have boom boom, and then here to here, or something. Do like alright. So, as far as our plane distribution goes, I meant to show you guys at the start of the episode. Basically the way it was at the end of last turn is within the next 5 turns, which is what our caravans were, 5 more planes were going to be produced, and I think the latest production time was 4, which means we have a free turn to rebase them. So it's kind of weird situation because we want to be able to represent here because we're kind of weak here on the ground, but at the same time, once we're done with them, all our planes want to come here. It's 12 tiles from Cernifron to Hukandika, so at least there's that. But we can only hold 6 in a city, so until we grab one of these cities, pushing through over here with planes is going to be a little limited. And then same thing over here, where it's going to take us extra time. In fact, I should have mentioned that at the top of the episode too. Right now, our sole focus on money is getting a carrier out. We'll have that in 2 turns, which as you can see here is 2 turns. Well, I guess 1 turn too late, but that's fine, because most of our initial planes are going to be going around here. We do want to be heavy in here just because we really want to focus on preserving this tile. So the planes can basically be whittling everybody down while we have a tank or 2 holding nearby or something. We'll have to see how it plays out. But anyways, the 5 planes that we were talking about, in addition to the one we already had, was 6. So I was thinking like 2 up here, 4 here would be a good initial distribution. After that we can, do some moving around and whatnot. So keeping that in mind, where are the planes? This is the one. We're going to rebase it as far north as we can. And 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. It's going to be Nantes. So there we go. Who else? Berlin had produced a plane and had received one last turn. So there's 2 planes here. And unfortunately, I don't think we can reach Ren, can we? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, we can. There we go. Perfect. That is exactly 12 hexes. So there we go. And from here we have options. In fact, we could actually defend over here from here. So we could leave them there, but obviously over at Lisbon we'd be a little more flexible in general. Is that true? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, from Lisbon we could actually reach a little deeper into Braga. Because of the plane limitation here, we might actually want to capture Coimbra just so that we have some influence over the water here. We see a frigate in over here, whereas most of his ranged boats were up in this bay, so yeah. Anyways, so we've dealt with the planes. Let's deal with everything else. Fortify, fortify, go to sleep, get started there. These guys were coming over here. They need to get their altitude training first. We had seen a prophet over here, so we started hunkering down, and we're not seeing a prophet now, so I'm not sure what that's about. We'll back him up, and I'm going to pull him out of the water. We'll bring the infantry into the water. Oh, maybe that was a mistake. Okay. I forgot to have a flat combat strength and when embarked. We wanted this guy to be able to push in here or come over here, but we have a lot over here. So we can just back him up for visibility's sake, like we were doing before, but maybe like stay on the road. We'll back him up because I took him over not realizing we should probably be a little strong here. Like stand on the spices, just hold while planes, you know, do the heavy lifting. We'll put the Great General to sleep. He's pretty centralized right there. In fact, that's not entirely true. I'll take him off of sleep. As soon as the worker's done chopping this down, we can swap places. Here's more centralized. We'll get a trading post going there. This guy, let's see, how many turns do we have till war now? Latest one is 4 turns. And keep in mind, what the numbers you see here, sometimes they're long. It'll say 2 or 1 left, and it'll actually finish up. I think that has to do with length. Like if it lands back in the city it originated from, it'll just stop rather than running the 2 more turns it otherwise would have. So this worker, we should just come over here and get ready, because if we are going to try and tank, we're going to need a worker to help sustain that. That one we can put to sleep. So yeah, we can have these guys start this way. Like I said, we don't see the prophet anymore, so I'm not sure what that means, but having some mobile units over here seems like a good idea. As for this worker, he could come up here as well. We were just basically doing some chops nearby, get the planes up quicker, archaeologists, whatever. So I don't see a reason to deviate from that plan. So we can just come here and do a quick chop. And there we go. So there's really no reason to keep eyes anywhere except for maybe over here. So there we go. We're back to peacetime. Oh yeah. End the turn and we end up with this stuff. Okay. Bratislavan artifact. That's a bizarre thing, but let's see if we can improve upon it. We have Germany Ancient, Renaissance Ancient. So there we go. This should improve. We're doing a really good job of stacking up them theming bonuses, so yay us, right? Okay, there we go. Something like this. Keep an eye on everything. Planes are already getting into position. Whoa, did you see that? They have their own archaeologist. Luckily that tile's got jungle on it. So maybe that archaeologist removes the jungle in time for us to swoop in and start with our own archaeologist. Saves a little bit of time.
It gets more powerful all the time.
Okay, electronics is here, so we have the option for carrier, which means next turn we will buy a carrier. I don't know why we're getting a prompt for May purchase with faith, but I'm going to leave it up because we will actually be able to next turn. May adopt policy. Alright, so I was dreading this decision. We're spending our faith on faith-bought buildings, and we don't actually need to be spending it on great scientists. So, in fact, we have a natural-born one coming up next turn. So we don't have to come here, and of course the policy itself is meaningless. We would only take it for the closer. I was considering opening up exploration, just because we are going to have a carrier, but once I found that little pocket in the bay, once we're set up, I think it's going to take far fewer turns to move about. So I think taking the exploration for that one carrier would probably be too much. I had considered the patronage opener, just because we are relying on city-states to some extent, and slowing down their degradation would be good. Commerce, that's usually what you use as filler, playing Liberty when you're not doing this. In the end, I think what I decided on, though, is capitalism, because local happiness from every mint, bank, and stock exchange. We do have a number of banks up. I think we may have a mint or two in puppets, and I think we managed to get a couple stock exchanges up. So this will help, because I'm still convinced that this policy is global happiness, even though it makes no sense the way it's worded, the way it's performed. It seems pretty clear that that's what it is. So increasing our local happiness. In fact, we'll take a look here. 18. We'll go ahead and take capitalism. 37. So that was 19 happiness we just picked up. And this makes all of our city management a little more easier. We don't have to be quite as strict, and we can have multiple cities being raised with this kind of a buffer. So perfect timing. City you converted, right? So we stopped the raising. Yep, did that already. Carthage and Ethiopia now friends. Doesn't matter to us. Alright, quarry here. So now stoneworks will... well, no, because it's not settled on a hill, right? Yeah, so that was a waste of a worker. I forgot to account for that. It's okay. Alright, so we'll finish this chop here. Speeds up the plane out of knots by a turn. Good job. Shops going on here to expose a plains hill, right? Yep, it doesn't matter because it's a hill, plains or grassland, so I don't even know why I looked at it. Given the source, I think we do need to make this a hill. But that means the city runs out of growth tiles to make use of, which means we'd have to start doing up the grasslands. So yeah, I'm really looking at possibly buying this hill at some point, just so the city has a good breaking tile. I like this tile here in the scheme of things because it's a mix of hammer and food, not unlike this horse tile, although this horse tile is benefiting from being plains and fertilizer, whereas this will not. Okay, so I believe that was all the workers, right? No, we have one more that's chopping. Ah, yes, this guy here. We don't really care about what that accelerates here. We're trying to terraform. So we'll do that. We'll set up and sleep. He comes here. He fortifies. So we're pretty much good here, except for the Great General is going to come down here. Or wait, no, Great General here reaches everybody. I know that seems exposed, but from the back I don't think we get punished for that. I was thinking this, but that doesn't cover him. Here covers everybody once we're all in position. Okay, research. This is the unfortunate thing about taking that policy, is now we're being offered all these different trades that we don't want. Okay, so technology. We could just open this up to have the option of hotels, but with the selection of the policy we just did, I don't think that's at all worthwhile. So perhaps railroad into ballistics. And railroad would be nice because then all of our workers would have more stuff to do. In fact, I want to check something out here real quick. I try not to do this kind of stuff on camera, but I think in addition... oh, it's a production. Production boost. Okay. I thought it was like more money or something. But no, it's a production boost, so that's really great. So yeah, technology-wise, we'll definitely go into railroad. We do have a worker, great scientist, coming out next turn, so we'll probably want to go into ballistics, right? Anti-aircraft gun, we don't have to worry about that, but machine guns would be a nice upgrade before we start pushing into because we're running out of stuff to do with our money after we buy that carrier. So upgrading to machine guns seems like a good idea. From Gatling guns, it's going to cost $260 per unit, so that's going to take some time to pull off. But that would definitely give us something to do with our money. Alternatively, we could go into atomic theory. That would jump us era, which we're still buying faith-bought buildings, so not the best decision. And I don't think we're gonna be in the game long enough to be mining this up, whipping out bombs in a meaningful way. Although it would be fun, right? So yeah, I think railroad into ballistics probably. Railroad for sure. So yeah, let's see here. Belfast is done with Coliseum, so we'll get into Workshop. Workshop is finished in Peel, so let's do this. This city doesn't have access to jungle tiles yet, but could. And growth in 4, we'll probably have to occupy a good growth tile. So university soon would make sense. Aqueduct. Ooh, what if we did this? 6 and 4. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So let's move along here. He's coming over to the war. There. Okay. Hey, another caravan has stopped, so that's the second to last one. Right, yep. This one here is the last one we need to stop. Okay. So this sucks because there's so many potential city connections that this takes forever to sift through. Edinburgh Funchal, nope. Berlin Funchal, nope. Cardiff Funchal, nope. Copenhagen to our house, we're running. Penzance to our house. Old standbys from younger times. Penzance to our house. Let's see here. If I chop there, it wouldn't go to Douglas. Oh yeah, railroad's coming up. So connected to capital is the way it was worded. So I think having our workers near the capital and radiating out makes the most sense. So we'll get him on the road here. He just finished here, so we'll have him do like Edinburgh to Dublin. This guy can come over, do Truro to Edinburgh, and the one I just put on the road can do Cardiff, and then they'll just start fanning out whatever way makes sense. Lumber mill, yeah, that's right. Okay, for St. Ives. I forgot we were doing that, but that's good. As far as New K goes, we have a 67% chance of picking up one of these planes, which we would like, but otherwise we have nothing more to do over here. So what I'll do is I'll have him come over here and pre-build here, interrupt, and then we'll take a look when we get it, because then we can either land here or start here if we grab one of those. Otherwise we'll just continue on. There's the Prophet. Okay, I'm glad to actually see him. So we should stay blocking in water. We'll come here, please. There. Let's see. Here. And here. There we go. Hopefully we can end up in a situation over here. We can use one of these workers if we need to basically capture this guy, like circle him. 2, 4, 6. It takes 6. We only have 5 over here, so we would have to use a worker. Maybe we have a lancer coming over here too. Because I think we have a lancer up here that's not terribly needed. So we'll have some start coming back. These guys were meant to, or he, I should say, was meant to kind of keep eyes over here when we saw a Pathfinder buzzing about, but they don't seem to be buzzing about anymore. And we are about to go to war, so I will bring him over here. He has range, yes. So, like, standing on this hill while this guy blocks here could potentially be a thing. Let's come here for the visibility. Although we're outside of our borders here, and now here, so she might prompt us, which is unfortunate, but who cares at this point? We're practically done, right? soon. Alright, so I think I said I liked 2 planes up here and like 4 piled into Peel. So let's try and rebase this to Peel now. We reach, that's good. And then these 2 we can rebase to Lisbon. Almost a bit of a waste of a move, but they have nothing else to do right now, so. Okay, so with the war starting, we have extra workers here. This guy could be here, but with extra workers here, we would only need like 1 here, 1 here. So maybe he can come down and start helping with the rail effort, since rail will be online next turn. Similarly, any worker that we have nothing to do with should start heading towards the capital. He could just stay back here, like chop here, chop there. There's really not anything else going on over here. We could come chop over here, since this is actually something of a priority, and we don't actually have visibility over here. So let's hop in the water and come land over here and do that, I think. Alright, so 1 more turn. There we go. Figured something like that was coming. Create artifact, that's funny. Double check, see if we can improve upon that in any way. The automatically got slotted in somewhere, so let's see why that is. Here it is, Ancient, Renaissance, Medieval, Medieval. Okay, so we are maxed out. We have 2 more out in the wild. Visibility back. Here we go. Antananarivo wants Taoism. Okay, lots going on this turn. Pick up a cattle tile here. That's actually really good. So let's move this here, and we'll have this guy start on that immediately. Okay. Yeah, I don't know why it's favoring that over the incense, but at least now we'll pick up the incense pretty quick. What is this? This is Plains, so that'll be a good tile for either city. Good show there. Limerick finished a bank, so that's extra happiness. I think we were going to say university next. It's only going to take 6 turns in this configuration. What other choice do we have? We could work a good growth tile. We're picking up a lot of hammers here. Let's see, 9, so we're looking at 10 to 12 with hotels. So growing here as we build a university. Let's just see what this does for the university build time. 6, 8, growth in 4, come here, slam that home, slot them both in. No, 5 and 6 works better, because then we grow to somewhere, and then they just slot right in. Alright. So does that mean... No, it does not mean we're going to pick up the bananas next. Weird. It should, but it doesn't. So Berlin has grown. Bad Berlin. So all that's left on the ground is these, like, 1 hammer tile. So we might as well throw this into one of the specialist slots. And that increases our happiness there. So good show. Alright, we'll finish with that. Great person born in Edinburgh. So let me just see here, because I believe this is our leading great engineer. We're 19 turns, but we're going to have a scientist before that. That's funny, we have scientists coming out of our nose. We don't have to choose a subsequent tech right now, because the spillover will be preserved. But I do think ballistics is the way to go. In fact, radar... we can start upgrading planes at that point. I don't think we need to, but that extra range would be pretty sweet. So maybe we don't spend our money on machine guns. Maybe we spend it on, save it to upgrade the bombers to get the increased range. I think that makes sense. There we go. And we have the option for another caravan, which I wasn't accounting for. And that would help with the money situation. Speaking of the money situation, we can buy a carrier this turn, so let's do that. In terms of this bay here, this is our closest city, so this is where we'll buy it. Ding. Takes 75 turns to build. That's why we have to buy it. And they have 6. Why is it 6? Must have one of the texts that we had picked up. I was thinking 5. So yeah, that made the exploration opener even less sensical. It must be this. Fast room, no. Was it this? No. So I'm not sure why, because I think it says here the base movement is 5, so I don't know why. Did we capture the Great Lighthouse? Is that what it is? Lisbon was a coastal city. They like to build it, I know that. No? Okay. Copenhagen. They were kind of focused on... No, we low rolled this city. This had nothing. Okay. I don't know. I'm assuming we have the Great Lighthouse somewhere, but I can't imagine where that would be. And it's not particularly important right now. So anyways, I got distracted by the gold situation. From now on, we will save the gold to upgrade our planes. Great War Bomber upgrades. 110, that's pretty cheap. And it gives us a good amount of range, which makes things more flexible. So that's the direction to head in. We also get paratroopers. Those are fun. And airport, which we're not using that kind of a tourism thing. So let's see, coal from Sidon, that's not particularly useful, other than we could sell off our remaining coal, and then if we need to build factories, we could go on borrowed coal until more coal comes back, so that's an option. Almaty wants Urbold, we're not going to do that. And Tananariva wants Taoism. We've been kind of trying that from the early game, but it's going to take way too long for us to realize that, I think. So coal from Sidon's really the only thing interesting here. But I don't think anybody's even interested in any of our other strategic resources on oil, which we're not going to trade. So we have 2 coal to part with, but we're not going to do that. Alright, lumber mill finishes here, and St. Ives was already growing kind of nutty, so let's do this. There we go. University's up in 5. So we'll put this and whatever we grow to in the meantime there, and go from there. Maybe at that point we can grow again, I don't know. Yeah, actually, alright, so 3 will grow into that tile. Maybe even this. 2, yeah, that's better, because then we'll grow into this. Yep, alright. That's why it pays to experiment. Okay, monument was finished building here, so we'll sell it off and just build it again. Wonder how many times we've sold a monument in that city now. Great War Bomber. Oh, and that's the other thing. Once we get up to the next tech, we can stop building Great War Bombers and just build straight bombers. Alright, Penzance is finished with the factory. So we pull from here and here, and go here and here. Back down to growth in 5, unfortunately, but this is a strong production tile, so that's okay. In this city, we have a hydro plant and a factory. So we could go into aiding with the building of planes, but given this city's growth, I think getting into a public school next makes sense. A more specialist slot for that new growth. Let's see, University has finished in Swansea. So let's see, we don't really need the faith. So we'll go 1, 2... 1, 2, growth in 4, probably grow to this tile. So University is finished here. Let me see something. If we go, oh yeah, I forgot we were working a solid growth tile, that's not so great. So if we come here, we're looking at 6 and 4 on an aqueduct. It's time to get an aqueduct there. University is up here. I would throw him over here, but in this particular city, we're a little hammer starved, so, and our science is just doing more than we would actually need it to. So let's see, we grow in 1. Let's see, we need to work these tiles. So what happens if we come here? Still grow in 1. Still grow in 1, so why not, right? And we'll just get right back to the river. Yeah, not bad, not bad. This city has a target pop of 10 or 12, so we're not going to bother with an aqueduct here. Let's see. bank. In this city, yeah, bank. We got a couple of trade. Yeah, we'll go for a bank here. It's also happiness, local happiness, which I failed to account for. So really, all of our target pops just got increased by at least 1, 2 if you count the. Okay, and we picked up so good chunk of happiness. So off camera, I'll go through and remap everybody in light of that, or make plans for remapping. So yeah, I think an aqueduct here would be okay, because we still have other special slots we can pick up. Alright, bank here is good. On to university for sure. Alright. Who would have thunk it? Let's see. So railroad is actually online. We have a caravan to build. Edinburgh can slam it out the quickest, so I'll just go ahead and... no, 2. We can get 2 from other cities as well. So I see this is finishing up a plane next turn. So we'll go here, caravan 2, there you go. Alright, worker's going to continue to deface this area. He finally gets into position, and they're teasing our borders, which is fine. We're very strong in here on land, and we'll be having an air supplement here soon enough. So I'm okay with all of that. We can have him come over here. He's coming down to aid with the encircling of the Prophet. So let's go look at where the Prophet is. It landed on water, in the water. So we would want to come back here for sure, because we have to stop everywhere along the border that we can. In light of that, I guess I'll have him come back here just in case. He's pre-building interrupt. He's gonna go do Truro to Edinburgh. He's doing Edinburgh to Dublin, so we can move all the way here and then immediately start on the rail. Thanks to the pyramids, this whole endeavor is gonna go pretty damn quick. Same thing, everybody that's going to get into position will just move to the furthest, second last hex, do a pre-build interrupt, and then that way it's not wasting movement as we get into position. This was going to our house in the middle of the street. Alright, and then he's waiting. I think I said farm here because we're interested in investing in this hill for us to have an additional breaking tile. So we'll do the farm here. It's a bit excessive at the moment, but he's going back to aid in the rail project. So again, all but 1. And start. I believe we said the same thing for him, right? No, he's in the area here for the war, just in case that ends up being something we need. So he can join him up on this hill. We didn't get prompted, so I think continuing to occupy this hill is fine. Well, no, because we had this ranged coming up, and if we invite him out here, the range can get invested too. But we have planes here, so whatever. Yeah, planes make up for that. Speaking of planes, this one we're going to put to sleep. It's about time to jump off, so we can check these other cities. Here's a plane. So we'll rebase. Oh, we can reach Peel. Far out. That must be the extreme then, because that seems too far, but I'm glad that it's not. Alright, so that just leaves these planes up here, which we can put to sleep for now. He's gonna come here to help. We get across the river here, but I'll tell you what, let's move the Great General. This is tough, right? Because we need all 3 of these civilians in here. Okay, so we can have the Great General cross the river. As long as the Shoshone don't jump us from behind, that should be fine. And there we go. Plane's going to do most of the work, so the Great General's not that important. This one was the one that was fueling Edinburgh. We no longer need that as a production trade route. We're not building World Wonder, so let's continue down our list here. Penzance, Palanque to Wamunga, we're already running. Peel, no. Boats. New K to our house is next, so that's what we'll do. New K is one of our newest cities, so we come down. Whoa! I'm glad that didn't take. I accidentally clicked on breast. Okay. You just wait. And there we go. Alright. We are past the half-hour mark, so I'm going to end it here. I want to thank you guys for joining me. Are you guys excited about the planes coming into play? Let me know down below. Also, please leave me a like and subscribe if you feel that I have earned it. And I will see you guys in the next part. Take care.